Hi, I'm Dr. Raymond Garza, optometrist and founder of Jubilee Health. Today we're going to discuss Schirmer testing. So what is a Schirmer test? Last week we talked about what a meibographer is and how that's important in assessing dry eye. With the meibographer, we look at the oil glands. We must remember the different parts of your tear. So your tears are made up of a water, and that's coming from the lacrimal gland. They're made up of oil that comes from the meibomian glands. And of course, there's also mucus that comes from the goblet cells in your eyes. So today we're going to discuss testing for the water portion or the aqueous portion of your eyes. So one of the tests that we have for that is called a Schirmer test. This is called a Schirmer strip. And in here we have a sterile little strip inside of this package. And this Schirmer strip is placed right in the corner of your eyes. And the general concept behind the Schirmer strip is we're going to measure how much water or tear goes onto this little paper over a certain period of time. So this little strip has a little ruler on it. And so here's an open one, kind of the same thing, just open so you can see that. So we basically put this right in here in the corner of your eye. We let it sit there for about 5 minutes. I prefer to do this with an anesthetic, with a numbing drop. We can do it without, many doctors prefer to do it without a numbing drop. The problem is that's very uncomfortable. So if you have dry eye already and we put this little strip of paper in your eye without the anesthetic, it's very uncomfortable. So if you have this done, we strongly recommend you request with anesthetic. That is my preferred way, but a lot of doctors prefer the old-fashioned way, which is without the anesthetic. The other reason we do like with the anesthetic in place is because we're measuring more of the basal liquid production of your eyes, the water component of your eyes. The anesthetic kind of eliminates the reflex tearing. So imagine having an eyelash in your eye or a piece of sand in your eye's going to tear. So when we put this in your eye without the anesthetic, this is a foreign body to your eye might tear, and that's not really what we want to measure. We don't want to measure that. We want to measure how much tear you're actually producing. So when we do this with the anesthetic, the results should be 5 millimeters or greater. If you're 5 millimeters or less, that is a dry eye for sure. This test is not absolute, so just because it's high or low doesn't really tell us everything. You have to put everything together. We have to put the results of the meibographer that we talked about previously, take that into consideration. But a number of 5 or more is considered normal. A 6 or 7 to me is not a great number. I still think that's not a great number. But if you're 10, 15, 20, that might be totally normal. So in supporting dry eyes, we really want to look at what layer of your tear is being affected. If you do not look at that, you will probably not get a correct picture of what's going on. In our next video, we're going to talk about vital dyes. These are dyes that we put in your eye that help us assess the amount of dryness or irritation in the eye, especially if this number comes out below 5. One other important note is that if your number is 0 or 1, that probably means your lacrimal gland is gone. That is one of the hardest types of dry eye to address. That means your lacrimal gland is gone. There's not, if we prescribe something like cyclosporin, it's not going to do much. So if your numbers are low, but we're still getting a little bit of tear, we can actually help support that. One of the ways that I recommend supporting that is with Jubilee. Jubilee has carotenoids, antioxidants that help reduce swelling and inflammation. It helps support for swelling and inflammation in the eyes. It might not get rid of it, but this is something that we think is important in supporting dry eyes from the inside out. And of course, with Jubilee, we also have electrolytes for water balance, get water into the cells. We have boosters that allow moisture to come into the cells and remain there. And then we have the carotenoids, which are important for glare sensitivity, because people with low tear production do have a lot of glare sensitivity. So Jubilee has bilberry and other antioxidants to support the retina to help with glare. So I hope this information was helpful to you. And please remember, if you have other questions, please follow us here. We will be producing more content. And remember, when your eyes are dry, it's Jubilee. Thank you.